Last night, Regal did another mystery movie, and it was a movie that I wasn't really aware of. I didn't really see much marketing for it, and it was the new Woody Harrelson movie, Champions. I thought this was a very sweet little movie. It had a lot of heart and a good message. Now, I'm not typically somebody who gravitates towards sports movies. In fact, if this wasn't the mystery movie, I probably would have just given this movie a pass. To me, the majority of them kind of all seem the same. To me, it seems like the main character of these movies is always the coach who's either the nicest guy ever, who believes in the team, or he's a jerk and he gives them a bit of tough love. And there's always the training montage. There's this big dramatic twist where you think they might lose. There's everybody stands up in slow claps. To me, if you've seen a sports movie, you've seen all of them. But for the most part, this movie doesn't really do a lot of that. And it still has the jerky coach whose heart has changed trope, but that's about it. That being said, the plot is still a bit overly familiar. It is basically the same plot as the Adam Sandler movie 8 Crazy Nights, though most of the film's humor isn't quite as lowbrow as that film, and it's certainly a lot more charming than that movie. Now, like I said, I'm not a big follower of sports, so I didn't really understand a lot of the basketball terminologies in the movie, but the characters are what make this movie. They are all so lovable, and you just want to give them all a big hug. They're all genuinely sweet and reflect the best of humanity. And it had a really good message about not letting people with certain disabilities be defined by those disabilities and seeing them as human beings. You know, like for example, there's a scene where Woody Harrelson, he doesn't really want to get to know the team very much. He just kind of gives them all like nicknames. And the guy who's his boss essentially, there's a scene where there's a kid who goes on a scooter. He's like, should he be riding that scooter? Is he mentally capable of doing this? Yeah, don't worry about it. He rides that scooter every day. In fact, one of these kids lives alone, holds a job, and still manages to go to basketball practice. He's completely self-sufficient even though he has Down syndrome. So there's a lot of that you need to see them as individuals, and they are capable of a lot more than you might think. Don't judge them by their appearances. Don't judge them by their handicaps or by their disabilities. Really good message, really powerful film. And it's such a shame that this film has a lot of sexual content and off-color humor and language that made it PG-13, because this could have so easily been a PG family film. You take all of that out, and it is a PG film through and through, but no, they decided to go edgy. There's a couple of sex scenes that, I mean, they're not super explicit, but they are still there. There's some stronger language than you would find in a PG movie, so that makes it PG-13. There's a few sexual innuendos, so I don't know, there's a little bit of off-color humor I wasn't too fond of, so despite those disappointing elements, though, Champions is a genuinely heartfelt, funny movie, and it's not overly sappy, it doesn't feel manipulative, it all feels genuine, and in my book, that's a slam dunk. For me, Champions gets a B, 8 out of 10, and 4 out of 5 stars.